Great. Hello, everyone. How are you? This morning, I wanted to stop by to ask a question and to provoke a discussion, right? The question that I want to ask is, should Christians practice yoga? Um, this question is very relevant because a lot of Eastern practices that are connected with Eastern religions have been integrated into Western culture, and that's fine. However, Christians in the West have begun to partake of these practices, sometimes without understanding the source and the purpose of these practices. So, my purpose today is not to tell anybody what to do, but we get to be informed, right? And we get to know what it is that we're doing and decide if that is consistent with who we say we are and what we want to do. So, going back to the question, should Christians be practicing yoga? And the question that arises from that is, what is yoga? What is the purpose of it? And there are some people in the West who believe that yoga is purely a physical exercise that purely affects the health of the body. And those persons would be mistaken. There's a mistake that people in the West, people who with a colonizing mindset, and now in more modern times, it's not say physical colonization, right? But it is colonization of culture, colonization of ideas. Um, these persons tend to go into other cultures and not really understand what these people are intending to do, but they are fascinated by some piece of art or some practice and some dance, and they say, okay, we're going to take this with us, right? Thinking that that's okay, that doesn't take away from the practice, and that they get to extricate the practice from what it's actually intending to do. That would be a whole conversation, but I don't want to be too long and I don't want to stray from the point. So I think that's what happened with yoga, right? People saw the practice being done in India and they felt, oh, this looks like something we should be doing. I'm being simplistic here. Without and took it to the West without really understanding what the practice is. So let's talk about it for a few seconds. So I can't talk about the origins of yoga without talking about Shiva. So let's talk about Shiva really quickly. So Shiva is a Hindu god. We're not going to get too deep into who he is. He is one of the three most prominent Hindu gods. Shiva is considered a destroyer, but also Shiva, mainly what he's known for is he is the inventor of yoga, and yoga as a meditation, right? So he is the ideal yogi. So Shiva is considered the first yogi and the originator of yoga, and the one who taught human beings how to practice yoga. He is the one that put the seeds of yoga in the minds of human beings. So if this is true, right, and we should assume that it is true because the people who we got yoga from, they're telling us that this is what it is, right? So if this is true, and yoga is tied inextricably to Hinduism, and specifically to Shiva as a Hindu god, right? Is that something that is commensurate with Christianity? It's just a question. And whenever I've asked this question in the past, I've heard, and it's just something to think about, that we can separate the physicality of yoga, putting your body in different poses, which can have beneficial outcomes for the body, right? The stretching can have beneficial outcomes for the body. And so what I've heard people say is we can extricate the physical benefits from the meditative origins. I submit to you that that's a very difficult thing to do, because if the originator of the thing tells you that it's a meditation and not an exercise, then how disrespectful it is of us to say, no, it is not a meditation, indeed, it's an exercise. So I'm going to end the same way I began. This is not my classroom. I'm not going to teach you. I'm just asking you, should Christians practice yoga? Thank you. See you next time. Hopefully I'll be doing these videos much more frequently. It's a bit difficult, but I will do my best. See you next time.